Hello everyone, welcome back to the final episode for this year's season of Thomas & Friends Home Media Reviews. I know it's bittersweet, but don't cry just yet. We still have this episode. And I made you wait for it too because I was getting married last week, so things were a little hectic. The wedding went great, by the way. Thank you for asking. Posted some pictures over on my Twitter and my Instagram and also on the YouTube community tab. It was a lovely ceremony. I married the most beautiful girl in the entire world. I married my best friend, and I'm so happy to call Hope my wife. But you guys didn't click on this video to hear me talk about how wonderful my wedding ceremony was. No. You clicked on this video to hear my thoughts on the complete Series 11. No spoilers here up front, but there was a point when I was watching Season 11 where I thought I might give this a green arrow. I'll tell you about that when I jump into my review of the entire season. For now, let's jump right into the history section of Season 11. So the complete Season 11 has a pretty short history compared to something like Season 10 or any of the treat-sized DVDs that we looked at. Season 11 was released in the UK on July 18th, 2010. And the first time that it was made available was in that giant Series 1 through 11 Classic Collection box set. We've talked about it previously. You know it, you love it, I know it, I love it, I want it, don't have anywhere to put it though. If you didn't want that giant box set, you didn't have to wait long, because about a week later, on July 26th, 2010, Season 11 was released just by itself, with the exact same artwork as the one that you can find in the exclusive box set. I find that odd. I find that weird. This artwork to me just screams, hey, exclusive box set artwork, not let's buy this at mass retail artwork. And as far as releases in the United Kingdom go, that's it for Season 11. It did get a DVD release in 2011 in Australia. June 2nd, 2011 to be specific. And I guess if I want to be pedantic here, November 6th, 2017 was when Season 11 was made available for digital download over in England, but this is a physical media show. We don't normally talk about that. So that pretty much wraps things up here for the history section. Let's move right along to the close-up. Alrighty everyone, here's your close-up look at the complete Series 11. The Classic Collection banner here is back again for the season finale. Haven't seen this since good old Season 10. Everyone loved that, right? We've got another promo shot here, just like on Season 10, but it's of Thomas and Spencer, apparently. Does Spencer play a big role in this season? I don't remember. Complete Season 11 down there. Oh, sorry, Series 11, excuse me. And we've got some UK ratings down there at the bottom. I've been having problems talking about posters this season. All the posters have been incredibly generic. There's not much for me to say here. It's just a picture of Thomas and Spencer. Yippee. On the spine, hit logo, Thomas logo, Classic Collection, and an 11 down there at the bottom, along with the UK ratings and product number. In the back is going to look very similar to Season 10. Got the Classic Collection banner up there. Complete Season 11, along with a little blurb. And then all 26 brilliant adventures not to be missed are listed there. Hooray. This is a great season, I'm sure. I don't think I've seen all of Season 11. At least I will have by the time that this video comes out, but at this point in time, I don't think I've seen all these episodes, but I definitely will, because I do this to myself. Got a link to the Thomas & Friends website, ratings, tech specs, and barcode, and then just like with Season 10, it does come in a blue plastic case. And on the inside, your disc is a squished up version of the poster art, and now they've added this little gold outline here. At least it's not just a generic reflective gray look. I missed you, squished up version of the poster art. Please never leave me. So that wraps up your close-up. Let's move right along to the menu tour. Alrighty everyone, here's your menu tour for the complete Season 11. 3 weeks of no menus, but still having menu tours. It feels great to be back with an actual menu though. This one looks identical to Season 10's. You can see here, I'm going to go ahead and click play down here in the bottom left. You can see here we have play all, the episode's selection tab, and then turn subtitles on or off. There is no bonus content anywhere on this disc. I'm going to go ahead and go into the episodes tab. And just like last time with Season 10, I'm not telling you all these episode titles. You'll hear them later on in the review section. However, each of the episodes do retain their numbers as well as clips from them playing in their little respective boxes. So I'll go ahead and show you each of the pages here. Here's episodes 1 through 6. And here's episodes 7 through 14. Episodes 15 through 22. And finally, 23 to 26. A short menu tour, but at least we have a menu to talk about here. That wraps things up for the menu tour. Let's go ahead and head on back and answer the 5 main questions, as always. Alright, so we're back from the close-up. Now it's time to answer the 5 main questions, as always. Number 1, where can you pick this product up? Interestingly enough, you can find a lot of the later seasons on eBay, including Season 11. The CGI series complete sets, and I think everything back to Season 9 is really not that hard to find on the secondary market. Number 2, is this product still being printed nowadays? Unless you count it being made available on like the official Thomas and Friends YouTube channel, and I think Amazon Prime? Maybe? No, definitely not. Number 3, should you pick this product up? So before we jump into any of these episodes, I gotta say, something about the intro looks off in this entire season. I should know. I watched it 26 different times. Maybe it's the color grading. I know they didn't refilm this entire sequence. They finally reshot that terrible fishbowl lens shot of Thomas after he gets out of the tunnel, though. So I do appreciate that. And yeah, the intro and outro, that's a thing. Again, it was the same deal with Season 10. I don't know why I thought it would be different for Season 11. That's just how England does things. I don't like it. I think it's dumb, but that's what I had to deal with. Our first episode is Hide and Peep. Apparently the color grading is different because this episode has that weird brown color filter over it, just like the intro does. If you were going for that like industrial brown look of Season 2, this ain't it, Chief. Can I play? Asked Cranky. Hashtag not my Cranky. No way he'd ever ask to be included in some stupid game. Hey, Thomas's trick, though, was actually genius. Why would he feel silly about that? That's a perfect way to trick someone into revealing their hiding spot. Actually, throughout the entire episode, Thomas has some really good tricks up his sleeve. Percy's the dumbass who fell for the fat controller trick. Also, isn't it a little dangerous to be playing on the coal hopper? For a standard boy who cried wolf episode, I kind of enjoyed it. It wasn't mind-numbing. High praise for this era of the show. Gordon and the engineer. Gordon, the points are broken. You must take the engineer to repair them. Is Gordon just not busy today? We've established early on in this episode that the Express is one of the most important trains on the entire island. Why is Topham getting his premier Express engine to take one guy around to fix all the points? And building off that point, funny joke, no pun intended, why is there only one engineer that's fixing all of the points? If they're all broken, you'd think there would be a few guys out there to fix that. But all criticism is hereby invalid because Donald and Douglas cameo, it's great to see them again, and they even get to serve a purpose in the plot. Turns into a big game of telephone, just without the funny ending. Moving on to Thomas Sets Sail. The term sailing boat is used throughout this episode. Not sure why that sounds weird, that is what a boat does, but I've always heard it pronounced as sailboat. Why exactly these dumbass workmen loaded the mast straight up instead of laying down, it's just the era that we're in. Here's a question that every Thomas fan has asked at least once in their life. Why does Sodor have a mayor? What's the purpose in that? There are several towns on Sodor, each I'm assuming having their own mayor, but you're telling me there's one singular mayor who governs them all? I'd love to see that town meeting. Emily's rubbish. Whiff's first appearance in the show. This is his premiere episode. Who gave him his eye prescription? Is there an engine doctor who diagnosed him? Do you think Whiff will one day have glaucoma? Emily's reaction to Whiff when she first meets him was pretty humorous. She doesn't hide her disgusted face at all. How do all the engines know that there's a new engine on the island? Even Elizabeth the quarry truck knows. Word must travel fast around here, despite the fact that there's no cell phones. The entire episode is basically Emily just running away from a gremlin. It's pretty fun. Dream on. One day, Thomas was shunting trucks at Knapford Yards and not working on his branch line. You think Thomas's branch line is still a thing here? These seasons act like it doesn't exist. I do love how snooty Spencer is, and Angelus's voice is perfect for him. Take my carriages and shunt them away. Anyone can shunt trucks, but you have to be a really useful engine to pull the Duke and Duchess. 3 strikes formula used again with Thomas trying to outdo Spencer, but I didn't hate it here. I kinda liked seeing how Thomas's attempts to be better than Spencer fail. Next up is Cool Truckings. The pair of Madge and Duncan is so unique. It's cool to see engines and road vehicles interact for more than just a few lines. Her drift was also pretty cool. This was a fun episode. I enjoyed it. Thomas and the spaceship. I like the fog effects in this one. Different weather depicted in Thomas has always been interesting to me. I've just seen a spaceship. Pah, what a silly little engine. Thomas didn't like Gordon calling Percy silly. Maybe if Percy didn't have 2 brain cells, Gordon wouldn't be making fun of him. A spaceship? Really? Come on, man. I do like the little twinge of sci-fi music whenever Thomas thinks he sees a spaceship. Makes me immediately think of Star Trek. Nice touch, but not a great episode. Hector the Horrid. The episode I've been waiting for since we covered Season 10. I like this one a lot, despite the stupid reason that Hector is rude. Hector has an interesting design and could have been a unique character to actually explore. He's ripe with potential for a fan series. A nice ally for the engines within the truck's ranks. I like how when Rosie gets scared, Thomas steps up to take care of business. Thomas basically takes Hector out behind the high school and beats him senseless. I know violence is bad, but hey, sometimes you gotta knock a guy on his ass to get him to see sense. Thomas and the storyteller. Ooh, is this the episode where Thomas finally meets the narrator? No, this isn't an episode of my old fan series. Apparently Sodor is building a new library. My coupling rod has snapped. Ha! See? I'm vindicated. Even in this era, they were calling them coupling rods and not side rods. This episode's really boring, but it does have a nice message about how Thomas is willing to help any of his friends, even at the cost of his own important job. It's actually kind of a mature episode for Thomas. The 3-strike formula isn't used to dumb down his character. It's used to make him stronger. Skarloey Storms Through is next. The narrow gauge episodes in this era are never good. Well, Cool Truckings was a good one. Skarloey being scared of storms isn't great, but maybe if it was established earlier that Skarloey was dealing with some unprocessed trauma from a storm in his youth, it may have worked. Unfortunately, we get no depth like that in this era. When Rhaenyra and Peter Sam see Skarloey hiding in that shed, they're not pissed that he's been hiding in there the whole time? Why wouldn't you be upset about that? I wouldn't be pleased with that. I'd be very upset. Thomas and the Lighthouse. After the last episode, we continue Season 11's downfall. Why is there a bulb being transported on an open wagon? Who thought that was a good idea? At least it had a little bracing around it, not just rolling around on that truck. I'm not sure why, but Angelus's reading of the line, "So Thomas speeded up," sounded off to me. I was expecting him to say sped up. And dude, the crash into the barrier isn't even that cool. Thomas just kind of bumps into it, no over-the-top explosion or anything. Sir Handel in charge. They kind of get Sir Handel right in this episode. He is one of the oldest engines on the railway. I guess he enjoys telling others what to do, but that's where the accuracy ends. Unless characters actually evolve in the show, and Sir Handel actually has cooled off since the earlier model era. I like that explanation, but it's hard to believe it when other characters like Skarloey or even Peter Sam aren't written right. Angelus's voice for Sir Handel was pretty good, though. "I must find the very best engine for the job. You must wait here." Smoke and mirrors. I've watched the movie Sinners recently, and I can't hear smoke without thinking of Stack along with it. If you guys have seen Sinners, let me know down in the comments. One of the best movies of the year. Why is the magician Italian? His name should be...
He will be named Representi because there's no more characters. He's Italian. Representi.
In no time at all, Thomas was unloaded. Cuts to a shot where his truck still has stuff in it. Great work, editors. Henry's lucky day. Return of the winter holiday line, though this didn't feel so clunky as it did in Season 10. The winter holidays were coming. For some reason, that doesn't sound off to me. Gordon's Hill was very icy, and every time Henry tried to puff up, he slid back down. That sounds extremely dangerous. I don't think your quote lucky trucks are going to save you in that scenario, Henry. You should definitely tell someone about that. Same deal with that giant snowslide. The fact that Henry is the one they chose to write this story around continues to reinforce the stereotype of every writer during this era didn't understand any of the characters. It's a dumb episode and nothing about it could work with a newer, younger character. Following that, we have Don't Be Silly Billy. Everyone's favorite character, Billy, gets his very memorable and classic first appearance in this episode. Everyone loves Billy and totally didn't forget that he existed when Charlie was introduced, because they're not the same character at all. They're different characters. Billy's just such a weird name for an engine. You get good sounding classic names like Thomas, Gordon, James, Spencer, and then there's just Billy. And then there's the teeth. Someone in the model department wasn't shy about leaning into the Southern Uncle vibe with those teeth and his name. At least Billy's character is a little bit different than a lot of the other newbies during this era. He's standoffish and doesn't like listening to anyone. He's different from someone like Molly or Neville. The three strikes formula was extremely annoying, especially with Billy's line, "Stop telling me what to do, Thomas. You are a very bossy engine." Toby's triumph. Yo, this title's totally a spoiler. We all know Toby's going to triumph over something. What is that something? Scheduling a colonoscopy? Rating his wedding vows without stuttering? Telling the mafia boss that he's indebted to that he won't kill his twin brother to become a made man? No, none of that. He's just picking up Alicia Body. Any of those other scenarios would be more entertaining than this episode. Thomas and the runaway car. How the hell did Topham get a whole color named after him? And how much does he make in royalties every time someone tries to use it? Does he make like 1/1/10 of a penny every time someone says hat blue? Hey, Arthur cameo! Nice to see him back, and his fish job is still a thing. Okay, this episode was kind of fun. Seeing the car run around the island, Gordon's line, "I told you I'd get to the Sodor show first." The car flying into the haystack. It's not good, but I had fun with it. Edward and the mail. No matter how stupid this episode ends up being, we all know Edward is more reliable than the United States Postal Service. I'm going to tell you guys a little story here. So I bought an extra 12 terabyte hard drive to go in my new server that I'm currently working on building. The hard drive was shipped from Lexington, Kentucky. Lexington's like 45 minutes from where I live up here in Louisville. The hard drive gets shipped out of Lexington, ends up in a Louisville distribution center. It then gets shipped to Chicago and is currently on its way back to Louisville. Tell me why the post office did that. Someone try and rationalize that for me. Please, I'm begging you. Controversial opinion time. This episode is worse for Edward's character than Edward Strikes Out. He's completely pathetic here. Edward would never get this down because he doesn't know where to deliver the mail. You have addresses on the packages. Your driver, if he even exists, can read, right? And we don't even get to see the crash close up? What was with that camera angle? Thomas and the Big Bang. Our whole universe was in a hot, dense state. And nearly 14 million years ago, expansion started. Wait, the Earth began to cool, the autotrophs began to drool, Neanderthals developed tools, we built a wall, we built the pyramids, math, science, history, unraveling the mystery that all started with a Big Bang. Oh wait, wrong show. Rheneas just appears next to Thomas like he's some sort of wizard. He definitely was not there in that shot when Thomas pulls up. That brick carnage was kind of cool when Rusty rams into the back of his train. The destruction in this episode is definitely the best part of it. Definitely not the narrow gauge engine's characterizations. They don't even stay consistent with Sir Handel's wise old sage type character. He reverts to a little baby train, just like the others. I will say though, I did like the crash into the canal. That was a cool stunt. Wash behind your buffers. The plot of this episode is Madge tries to convince the narrow gauge engines to take a bath. That's it. Those are my thoughts. Oh, this is also the episode where Madge shits on Skarloey and Rheneas. Literally. Thomas in trouble. Hey, we've talked about this episode already 2 weeks ago. Oh wait, this isn't the good season 1 episode. It's another painfully average season 11 episode. Clangety clong, clangety clong. What a wonderful combination of words that didn't make me want to punch myself in the head. Thomas is like those people who refuse to go to the doctor and wonder why they're always sick. Well, the doctor only exists to find something wrong with you. That's their job. Hey, 2 season 1 throwback titles in a row. Dirty Work is up next. And this episode stars James. Season 11's just messing with me now. Although at this point, during my watching of season 11, I can feel my eyelids starting to get heavy. I'm running out of creative things to say about these episodes. They're all the same. Duncan does it all. Duncan actually wanting to do work? I never thought I'd see the day. Him ditching the passengers at the ruined castle? Now that's perfectly in character. Percy and the left luggage. I see we've left creative titles behind. Instead, we'd rather just say exactly what the episode is. Dowager Hat having enough luggage to fill a flatbed was the funniest thing to me. What are all those suitcases filled with? Souvenirs? Ding-a-ling! Okay, I take back my previous statement. Creative titles are back, and this one's about Freddy. Yippee! I'm with Freddy on the bell thing. It doesn't really serve a purpose on a bicycle. Although, James, it's kind of your fault that the bike doesn't have a bell. You're the one that collected it. Literally pushing his work off on others. That's James for you. Although if James hadn't been so lazy, we might not have had an episode. Which is a good thing, because this episode shits on Freddy's character. And finally, we end things off with Thomas and the Stinky Cheese. Most notable thing about this episode is the crash at the end where the Diesels get covered in said stinky cheese. Also, this was the first episode where Thomas in CGI was ever tested. If you've never seen that test reel, it's a trip. Go out there and find it. So, season 11. Around episode 8 or 9 or so, I kind of thought I'd give season 11 a recommendation. It starts off strong with some pretty okay episodes. But it completely falls apart by the halfway point. All 4 wheels come off of this season. It rolls down a mountain into a canal and then explodes. It's awful. There's some good here, like Hector the Horde or cool truckings, but then you have absolute boredom with Percy and the left luggage and Wash behind your buffers. There was a point where I thought we'd be ending off this season with a Green Arrow, with a recommendation. That is not going to happen. Season 11, no, not recommend. Number 4, where should you pick this product up? Same answers as number 1. And number 5, what price should you pay? Well, season 11 is worth probably about 10 to 15 bucks. The seasons always go for a little bit more than like the singular releases do. So, I'd say about 10 to 15 bucks for that's a good price. Well, folks, we've reached the end of the HMR for season 11, and that brings this new season of Thomas and Friends Home Media Reviews to a close. Looking back on this season, I am very proud of the episodes I was able to produce for this. I think we had some really good variety in here. I got to cover 2 full seasons of The Thomas Show. 2 seasons that I don't believe I've ever seen in full. I can now finally say that I've seen most of the Thomas TV show. I haven't seen anything from the Big World, Big Adventures era, so I can't say I've seen the entire show, but I can say I've seen all the model stuff. And man, what an absolute treat it was to have Dozer make that animated intro, the transition segments, and the outro that you'll be watching here in just a few minutes. I mean, everyone give a shout out to Dozer Daisy. She did a great job on this animated, on all of these new animated bumpers that she made for this. Just awesome. Give her a round of applause, everyone. I did see a comment the other day saying, "Oh, it's sad we'll never see the original Home Media Reviews logos ever again." Not true. This was just a little special thing because this is Thomas and Friends Home Media Reviews' 10th anniversary. So Dozer reached out to me and asked, "Hey, can I make some special intros for you?" And I said, "Sure, go right ahead." So this is just a special thing for this year. When Thomas and Friends Home Media Reviews comes back next year, because yes, we are having another season next year. I've still got more stuff to cover. You can't get rid of me that easy. You will see the return of the classic intro, outro, and the bumpers in the middle. Unless, of course, I decide screw it and make Dozer make me more things. No, I'm not going to do that to her. She's already worked hard enough for me. Yeah, you'll see the return of the classic intro and all that fun stuff next year when Thomas and Friends Home Media Reviews returns to the air. Above all else, I just want to say thank you all for watching and sticking with me throughout this new season. We had a little bump in the road there last week, had to delay this one a week, and finally got to cover RoboCop on VHS. That was cool. But you know, stuff like that happens. I do appreciate your guys' patience on my end. Just a lot of stuff happened in the last week. Big changes on the horizon and all that stuff. I mean, you guys know what it is. I got married, so that's a big deal. And by the time that you guys are watching this video, I'll be on my honeymoon in Disney. So obviously I've got some more important stuff going on. I just, from the bottom of my heart, I want it to be known that I appreciate all of you for watching. I thank you so much for all the support that you've given me over the last year, and I look forward to seeing most of you come back in the next couple of weeks for when regular Home Media Reviews premieres its 7th season. Man, can you believe 3 years from now we'll be celebrating regular Home Media Reviews' 10th anniversary? That is astounding to me. So I leave you with those words of encouragement. Thank you all so very much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Good night, everybody.
Howdy, folks. I hope you enjoyed this newest season of Thomas and Friends HMR. You know, originally this was supposed to end off with a big bang, with an animated skit featuring Oliver going to Garrett's wedding. But once I read the script that was sent to me for review, just imagine you're watching a Thomas and Friends episode where everything is normal, right? Everything's happy, everything just goes right. But then, when you get to the end, instead of just having a big crash like normal, it instead started to go mean-spirited. The script that I read was filled with a bunch of Barney hater shit. The drama just won't go away. But then I realized something. The script that was sent to me for review didn't have to be final. It didn't have to be the finale, you know? So instead, I wanted to do something else. Because this isn't supposed to be about some stupid drama after all. This was supposed to be about a special couple that I don't think I saw coming. I don't think Dozer Daisy saw it coming. I don't think anyone saw it coming. Not even Garrett. He said it himself in a live stream a week or two ago, saying that he wasn't expecting to be in a long-term relationship. Nor was he even expecting to be married at all. So, I dedicate this special little drawing for him and Hope. A special kind of couple that only comes around every few years. And it's something that even if I could achieve as a doll, it is something that I'm proud to see regardless. Because this couple, from what I've seen, is very happy. They love to be with each other, you know, and that's something I don't see often. And you know what? It's kind of heartwarming, to be honest, because it's just so nice to see a creator I've been watching for years to be in a relationship. So, overall, I just wanted to say congratulations to both Garrett and Hope for finally getting married after about 6 years or so of being together. And even if you may not be in a relationship this happy, just know that as long as you really love each other, you will surely be in a relationship that will last a lifetime. That'll do, Garrett. That'll do. Congratulations, you two. Hope you have a happy life together.